The movie begins in Japan with a student named Takaha. He stood out among his classmates because he was exceptionally intelligent. However, his intelligence made him feel bored with life. One day, while he was in class and the teacher was writing on the board, the teacher's head suddenly exploded, revealing a strange talking toy named Daruma. This toy initiated a deadly game with the students. If it turned its face toward them and saw anyone moving, their head would explode instantly. However, when it turned its back, the students were free to move. Daruma began rotating its face, and the moment it spotted a moving student, it killed them. Those who panicked and tried to run were also eliminated immediately. The game continued with Daruma repeatedly saying its name while the terrified students asked, "What should we do?" Additionally, whenever Daruma killed a student, small red spheres would emerge from their body. Two students attempted to take advantage of the brief moments when Daruma turned away and ran toward the door, trying to open it only to find it securely locked. Moments later, Daruma turned back and killed them as well, sending the remaining students into a frenzy of fear. A student named Scatty tried to calm them down, saying, "I know this game. It's Daruma. We're trapped in it until it kills us all, but there's a button on its back. If we press it, the game will end." One student made a fatal mistake, rushing toward the button in an attempt to press it. However, Daruma sensed him, turned around swiftly, and killed him. This was Daruma's strategy. It spoke slowly but reacted instantly when it sensed someone approaching. The students then noticed a timer on Daruma's back showing that they had only 1 minute left. If time ran out, everyone would die. They desperately tried to reach the button, but some slipped on the scattered spheres. When Daruma turned around, it eliminated them. The classroom quickly turned into a sea of corpses, leaving only 10 seconds on the timer. The only survivors were Takahata and Scatty. Determined to win, the two devised a plan. Scatty crouched down while Takaha jumped off his back, propelling himself toward the toy and pressing the button just in time. Daruma collapsed, visibly upset by its defeat. Takaha and Scatty celebrated their survival until suddenly Scatty's head exploded. Daruma then announced that the only winner was the one who pressed the button himself. In shock, Takaha struggled to process what had just happened. Daruma then ominously stated, "The cat will be coming soon," hinting at the next challenge. Suddenly, the classroom door opened, revealing his friend Chika, who was in a state of shock. As Takaha approached to check on her, she told him that she had also played Daruma's game, and when she pressed the button, all of her classmates died. "That's exactly what happened to me," Takaha responded. They decided to call the police, but when he pulled out his phone, he found there was no signal. Panicked, they ran toward the school's exits only to find all the doors locked. Takaha tried breaking a window, but it wouldn't shatter. Finally, they found an open door and entered, leading them into the school's gymnasium. The moment they stepped inside, the door shut behind them, trapping them once again. However, this time they weren't alone. Other students were also inside, some wearing mouse costumes. Takaha quickly realized they were in a new game as a message was written on the floor. "Put the ball in the basket to win." Suddenly the ground shook, and a massive cat-shaped statue emerged. Without warning, the giant cat devoured a student wearing a mouse costume. It then started moving toward the other students in similar outfits, consuming them one by one. This challenge was even harder than the previous one, and panic spread as students ran for their lives. The giant cat then lunged toward Takaha and Chika, but ignored them since they weren't wearing mouse costumes. At that moment, Chika noticed a ball rolling on the floor while Takaha spotted a basketball hoop attached to the giant cat's body. That's when he realized the only way to win was to throw the ball into the cat's hoop. Takaha told the students about this situation. A skilled basketball player asked Chika to pass him the ball. When he got it, he threw it toward the cat's basket, and it was about to go in, but the cat blocked it. The cat grabbed the ball and threw it back at the player with immense force, slamming him into the wall and killing him instantly. Then the cat looked at Takaha but did not attack him. Instead, it scanned the other students, focusing on those wearing the mouse costume. At that moment, Takaha realized that the cat only eats those dressed as mice. He warned the students and told them to take off the costume. All the students followed his advice, believing they were now safe. However, suddenly the cat started moving again. But this time, it began eating everyone regardless of what they were wearing. Panic spread, and the students ran in terror around the court. Chika noticed the ball lying beside her, and there was a countdown timer on it. Only 3 minutes remained. At that moment, The cat approached Chika, ready to devour her. When Takaha saw that his friend was about to die, he quickly put on the mouse costume to distract the cat. His plan worked. The cat immediately left Chika and chased after him instead. Takahata kept running back and forth, trying to confuse the cat and desperately asking someone to throw in the ball. However, all the students were too afraid, remembering what happened to the basketball player. Then Takaha heard a strange noise and realized it was coming from the mouse costume he was wearing. He suddenly stopped moving. The cat, instead of attacking, seemed to want someone to scratch its back. Understanding this, Takaha quickly jumped onto the cat's back, grabbed a rope attached to it, and started scratching. The cat immediately smiled and stopped attacking. It just wanted someone to keep scratching its back. Takaha called the other students to help him. Chika rushed to assist, and when the others saw that this strategy was working, they all climbed onto the cat's back and started scratching it. Gradually, the cat became drowsy and finally fell into a deep sleep. Seizing the opportunity, Takaha grabbed the ball and prepared to throw it into the basket, but suddenly the other students rushed toward him, each wanting to be the one to throw the ball. They feared that only the person who made the shot would survive. A heated argument broke out. Their loud voices woke the cat, which immediately killed 2 students with its claws. Takaha realized they won't have enough time to put it back to sleep. But then an idea struck him. He took a torn basketball and told Chika to grab the cat's special ball and hide behind the locker room. Then the 2 of them came out, each holding a ball while wearing the mouse costume. They moved toward the cat from opposite sides. The cat became confused, unsure which ball it should block. However, Takaha accidentally revealed that he was holding a regular basketball, making the cat realize that Chika had the real one. The cat grabbed Chika's ball and blocked it. But this was part of Takahata's plan all along. While the cat was focused on Chika's ball, he threw his, revealing that inside it was the cat's actual special ball. Unfortunately, the ball missed the basket and everyone thought they'd lost the challenge. But suddenly, a student named Amaya appeared behind the cat, grabbed the ball and dunked it into the basket, winning the game at the very last second. The cat completely stopped moving and announced the end of the game. Moments later, it reactivated and declared that the winners were Takahata, Chika, and Amaya, without mentioning any other students. Takahata asked what would happen to the remaining students. Suddenly, Amaya began killing all the losing students. He was revealed to be a psychopath who enjoys living in a world where the strong dominate the weak. He then turned to Takaha and Chika and said, "We are the ones who won. That means we are the only ones who deserve to live." Chika responded angrily, "You're insane. You can't compare yourself to us." This enraged Amaya and he prepared to kill her. But Takaha intervened and stopped him. Then the cat released a white smoke, and the 3 students suddenly disappeared. News reports revealed that the same challenges were occurring in schools all over the world, and it appeared that more than 10 million students had lost their lives. The media began covering the mysterious disappearances, while some broadcasters speculated that aliens were behind these events. We then see massive cubes hovering in the sky. Inside the cube assigned to Japan, Takaha woke up to find himself face to face with an old friend from another school, Takusa, whom he once dated. Along with Takusa, 2 other students from different schools, Tara and Taka, had also survived the Daruma challenge and the cat challenge in their respective schools. Takaha quickly realized that all the students in his room have names that start with the letter T. He also noticed that each room appeared to contain students whose names share the same first letter. Remembering that both Chika and Amaya's names start with the same letter, he became worried that they might be in the same room together. Panicking, he rushed to the door only to find it locked. He pounded on it and shouted, hoping someone would hear him. However, Tara, a highly intelligent yet arrogant young man, interrupted him. Tara told Taka that no one was coming to save them, and then projected a holographic news broadcast showing the ongoing events worldwide. Takaha realized that he was inside one of the floating cubes. Tara then informed him that they are trapped here and all they can do now is wait for the next challenge. Suddenly, a knock was heard at the door. 4 eerie dolls floated into the room and announced that the 3rd challenge was about to begin and that it would be even more difficult than the previous ones. One of the dolls then selected Tara to play first. Confident in his own abilities, Tara immediately agreed. The dolls explained the rules of the game. Tara must sit on the floor with his eyes covered. The dolls will then circle around him while singing a song. When the song ends, they will ask him, "Who is standing behind you?" As the game began, the dolls sang and moved around Tara. When the song stopped, they asked, "Who is standing behind you?" Tara, feeling nervous, gave the wrong answer. He immediately lost the challenge. One of the dolls fired a laser beam at him, taking full control of his body. Unable to resist, Tara repeatedly smashed his own head against the ground until he died. After his brutal death, the dolls selected Taka to play next. Terrified, she refused, but the dolls warned her that if she didn't participate, she would be killed instantly. Left with no choice, she agreed to play. The game began again with her eyes covered. The dolls sang and circled around her before asking, "Who is standing behind you?" But Taka, paralyzed by fear, hesitated for too long, losing the challenge. She tried to flee, but the dolls trapped her and fired a laser beam at her. This time, instead of controlling her movements, the dolls forced her legs apart and began pulling them with immense force. The sickening sound of bones cracking filled the room as her body was torn in half. Next, the dolls turned to Takusa, preparing to make her the next player. But before they could proceed, Takahata stepped forward and interrupted, saying, "I want to play instead of her." The dolls accepted his request, and the game began once more. The dolls moved around Takaha, singing as before. When the song ended, they asked, "Who is standing behind you?" To everyone's surprise, Takaha gave the correct answer. Shocked, the dolls asked, "How did you know?" He calmly replied, "I memorized your movements while watching you play with Taka and Tara." The moment he succeeded, the dolls vanished into thin air, leaving behind a key. Takahata and Takusa took the key and exited the room together. Takahata and his team spotted a student running while clutching a key, with one of the dolls chasing him. The student urgently warned them that they must hold hands as the doll kills anyone standing alone. Seeing that they were holding hands, the doll lost interest and searched for another isolated student. With this, Takahata's team now possessed 2 keys. Suddenly they heard a strange noise and followed it only to discover that it was Chika who was chasing the doll. Takaha rushed to save him, grabbing his hand at the last second before the doll could kill him. At that moment, a giant wooden head appeared on the wall displaying a countdown timer and 7 key slots. The head spoke. 7 people must insert 7 keys to complete the challenge. Takahata's team soon encountered 2 other students, each holding a key, bringing their group to 6 people with 4 keys. This meant they still needed 1 more person and 3 additional keys. With only 2 minutes remaining, as the group started to lose hope, Amaya suddenly appeared and tossed the remaining 3 keys in front of them. He was accompanied by another student. However, since there were now 8 people, Amaya coldly killed the other student, saying, "I only needed him to hold my hand so the doll wouldn't kill me." Disgusted by Amaya's actions, Takaha had no choice but to accept him as part of the team since he was necessary to complete the challenge. They inserted the 7 keys into the wooden head, which then announced the challenge's completion. It ordered them to change into new outfits before disappearing and opening a tunnel for them to pass through. The team proceeded through the tunnel only to find themselves in a bizarre place. Suddenly, the ground shook beneath them, and a massive white polar bear emerged before them. The bear performed a brief show, then stopped and spoke in a chilling voice, "I hate lies." It then explained the next challenge. "I will ask you questions and you must answer truthfully. If someone lies, you must identify them or sacrifice one of your own to proceed to the next stage." After explaining the rules, the bear asked the first question. "What is your favorite meal?" Seeing that the question was easy, everyone answered. However, the bear suddenly sniffed the air and declared, "I smell a lie." It gave them only 2 minutes to identify the liar or sacrifice someone. A heated debate erupted with everyone accusing each other. Suspicion quickly fell on one student who answered, "My favorite meal is vegetables." The others argued that vegetables alone are not a full meal. The student desperately defended himself, saying, "I'm not lying. I really love vegetables," but the decision had already been made, and the bear crushed him instantly. The bear then moved on to the second question. "Do you like Takaha?" Chika and Takusa immediately said they admired him. Amaya and the rest of the students also claimed to like him. However, the bear sniffed the air again and stated, "There's a liar among you." Without hesitation, Chika accused Amaya. "Amaya doesn't like anyone." A heated argument broke out while Takaha wondered aloud, "Why would someone lie knowing the bear will always detect the truth?" At that moment, the bear grinned and said, "Well done, Taka. You've realized the truth. There is an alien hiding among you in human form, and it has been lying from the start. You must identify and eliminate it, or it will lead to your doom." Upon hearing this, one of the students immediately pointed at Takusa, saying, "My friend and I are from the same school. And Takaha, Chika, and Amaya are from the same school. But you're the only outsider. We should sacrifice you." Takaha and Chika tried to defend her, but time was running out. In the end, the two students from the same school, along with Amaya, voted against Takusa. Since the decision was made by the majority, the bear crushed and killed her. Takaha watched in horror as his former lover was reduced to nothing but a pool of blood. The bear prepared to ask the next question, but Takaha suddenly interrupted, saying, "I know who the real liar is." The bear looked surprised and asked, "Who is it?" With confidence, Takahata replied, "You." Everyone was shocked by his claim, but Takahata continued explaining, "Takusa helped me uncover the truth. When she died, her blood washed away the white paint on your body, revealing your true color, black. That means you were the liar and deceiver all along. There was never an actual liar or alien among us. You just made us believe there was one so we would turn against each other and fight to the death." The bear, realizing it had been exposed, flew into a rage and attempted to crush the students. They quickly fled with a furious bear chasing them wildly. In its blind rage, the bear stumbled into a pool of scorching liquid, causing the white paint covering its body to melt away completely. At last, its true form was fully revealed, and it accepted defeat, announcing the students' victory in the challenge. The team then moved on to the next trial. This time, a group of small dolls surrounded them and declared, "This is the final challenge." They then explained the rules. One of you will be chosen as Akoma. Akoma must take this box and place it inside the red circle drawn on the ground. After that, the rest of the students must run and hide. When Akoma finds a student, they must call out their name loudly and take them to the prison. If Akoma captures at least 3 students, they win. However, if any free student manages to kick the box out of the circle, Akoma loses. But the box contains a bomb, meaning the student who kicks it will sacrifice themselves to save the others. The challenge lasts until sunset, 1 hour. If Akoma fails to capture at least 3 students before time runs out, they lose. After explaining the rules, one of the dolls pulled out 5 wooden sticks to determine who would be Akoma. Unfortunately for everyone, the role fell upon Amaya, the most ruthless and insane student. The challenge began. All the students scattered to hide while Amaya placed the box inside the red circle and set off to hunt them down. He quickly found the 2 students from the other school. They tried to resist, but he overpowered them with ease and threw them into the prison. Takaha and Chika watched from a distance, but Amaya soon spotted them and locked onto their location. They tried to escape by tying a rope to climb out of a window, but Amaya caught up too quickly. Realizing that they can't escape together, Chika made a desperate decision. She sacrificed herself by deliberately drawing Amaya's attention to her. He grabbed her, giving Takaha just enough time to flee. After locking Chika in the prison, Amaya knew that Takahata was the only one left. He decided to stand guard over the box himself. Meanwhile, Takaha hid in a safe spot as Amaya tried to manipulate him, calling out loudly, "Come on, Takaha, I won't capture you. I've already caught 3 people, which means we can win together." But Takaha wasn't naive. He knew Amaya was lying. Takaha searched frantically for anything he could use until he spotted a suit of tin armor. Thinking quickly, he put it on to shield himself from the explosion when he kicked the box. But he soon realized a huge problem. The suit was incredibly heavy, restricting his movements. Worse yet, he looked absolutely ridiculous wearing it, even dropping his sword while trying to move. Takaha retreated to the far end of the castle, completely exposed with no way to defend himself. Seeing his perfect opportunity, Amaya smirked arrogantly and removed his helmet, preparing to strike. But suddenly something felt off. He discovered he was chained. This was Takahata's plan all along. Then, without hesitation, he threw himself off the castle, dragging Amaya down with him. Amaya struggled to resist, but the weight of the armor and the iron chain pulled him down as well. At the last moment, Takaha managed to free himself from the heavy suit and escape while Amaya found himself trapped, desperately trying to break free. Meanwhile, Takaha climbed to the rooftop and moved toward the box. But exhaustion slowed him down. Amaya, after a tremendous effort, finally freed himself from the chains and dashed toward him. In the critical moment, Takaha managed to kick the box out of the circle, freeing his teammates. Everyone panicked, bracing for a massive explosion, but nothing happened. They realized there was never a bomb in the box to begin with. Moments later, the sun set, marking the official end of the challenge. The dolls reappeared and delivered a shocking revelation. "We lied about the bomb." We just wanted to make the challenge more thrilling." Amaya was furious, believing he was about to die, but the dolls simply laughed and revealed that the final challenge was never meant to be deadly. It was just a game. Suddenly, fireworks lit up the sky, and the students celebrated, finally relieved that they had survived. As a reward, the dolls handed out ice cream in honor of their victory. Takaha sat with Chika, talking about the future and what they would do once they left this place. As they chatted, he noticed a small inscription on his ice cream stick, but he paid it no mind and continued talking. However, Chika suddenly started crying, staring at her ice cream stick in horror. When Takaha looked at it, he saw the words written on it, "You are the loser, and you will die." The dolls appeared once more, their voices now cold and emotionless. Every challenge you faced was based on skill and intelligence, but in the end, it is luck that decides who lives and who dies. Then the ultimate truth was revealed. Every single ice cream stick determines each person's fate. Takaha quickly checked his stick. He was lucky. He would survive. Amaya too would live, but Chika along with the two other students were marked for death. Before anyone could react, a laser beam was fired from one of the dolls, instantly striking Chika and the others. Takaha watched in pure shock, unable to process what was happening as they vanished before his very eyes. Takaha and Amaya were transported to the floating cube in Japan, where they were met with thunderous applause and cheers from the audience celebrating their survival. But amidst all the noise, Takaha was drowning in sorrow because he lost the one he loved, Chika. And so the story ends with a moment of triumph overshadowed by the pain of loss. If you love movies and movie recaps, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more. Hit like if you enjoyed the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.